My name is Devin or Smeargle, bringing you my draft analysis for UGL Season 3. I believe this is the first time the Wi-Fi section has been placed into two divisions. So it's into silver and gold, and then there's a crystal division, which is the showdown division, which I'm not in. Obviously, because this is my very first ever Wi-Fi league, as you can tell by the fact that this is on cartridge. I'm part of the gold division, and I'm happy because gold is a cooler color, and I like Ho-Oh more than Lugia, so thumbs up from me. Yeah. I got the way this draft works is that there are 14 people, and I got to pick 11th out of 14, and the way they approached this, obviously it's a normal Galar Dex sort of league, no Dynamax, because that is one of the dumbest things in Pokemon history, I think. Dynamax is just a stupid, ridiculous fucking addition to the game that has no place in competitive Pokemon outside of VGC, of course. VGC, I have respect for VGC. This gen is actually really interesting, but it's bad in most singles games. I don't think any singles format should really have it. Even random battles, but that's a controversial opinion apparently. Anyway, enough ranting about Dynamax aside. No Dynamax, no Gigantamax, no captains for that sort of thing. Yeah, I really don't know what else to add to that. Yeah, but the other thing is we have 95 points for 10 Pokemon, which I think is pretty interesting. It's a very sort of restrictive, get value out of your picks sort of format, which I'm a fan of. But I did end up needing to make some grace period changes because they gave you 4 free agents. And I felt like that was pretty good, considering I made a mistake when I drafted my team. So let's start. Obviously, I didn't take Delmise round 1. This is just a placeholder. That's to not spoil the surprise, if you know what I mean, in my first pick. Delmise is funny, so here it is. I got picked, like I said, I got placed 11th out of 14 coaches in the draft. So my options were going to be pretty limited from the start. And in order of what got taken, Mew, Single Urshifu, Tapu Koko, then Tapu Lele, Dragapult got taken, and then Tapu Fini, Garchomp into Urshifu Rapid Strike, which led to Rillaboom, and then Torn T. So Torn T was one pick away from making it to me, and I definitely would have snatched that up if that lasted past this person that was right in front of me. Even though I already have it in the PCL Island Tour, which I haven't uploaded my draft analysis for yet, I guess the sort of review sort of thing for that, and also an IPL, which I haven't really done videos for, and I don't know if I'm going to yet. I'm sort of just having fun in that, coasting along. Well, yeah. Anyway, having as much fun as I can. So there was actually a few cool Pokemon there for me to potentially take from. The main 3 I was looking at were Celesteela, which I thought was pretty much A on my list. B was Lando T, and then C was Latios. All 3 of those were potential candidates for my pick, and I ended up going with Celesteela. Now, I got Celesteela because I haven't used it in Gen 8 yet, and I used to only lean on the defensive sets, and obviously bring only the defensive set in CBL 7 led to me getting a championship, but I feel like that bringing depth to your Steela is a good idea. You mix in the offensive sets and stuff, and the Celesteela is going to benefit from that. Let me put this here so people can see the abilities. That's a good idea. Yeah, just having people, or having the mix-up between the offensive and defensive Celesteelas is a good call. So yeah, I think running mix-ups is good. I got this because it's a mon I'm comfortable with, and it was what I figured was a really good mon to pick up. Mainly because I did want to have fun with this team, but I also drafted mons I know how to use. That's typically how I go into each draft, and I didn't really have a set plan. I was just gonna get whatever came to me and then build around that. So it goes past me, and there were 2 main candidates for my next pick that I was looking at. Well, actually there were 4 mons I was looking at for the pick that I wanted in this next pick. They were Latios, Latias, Necrozma, and Hydreigon. Latias because it was 15 points. 2 points cheaper than Latios, and I thought it would be a solid addition to my team. It complements Celesteela really well. That got taken on the wheel. Hydreigon, Necrozma, and Latios all made it to me, though. I was really surprised that Latios was still there. So, of course, I jumped on the opportunity to get that. But I was looking at getting Necrozma in this slot because it was 14 points, which I think is good. Oh my god, what is happening? Good value for what Latios, or for what Necrozma does. The fact that it's a sweeper with some defensive utility. Yeah. But I ended up getting Latios instead. It pairs pretty much perfectly with Steela. What I like doing with Steela is getting a good dragon type, and I do believe that I could have potentially gotten Hydra, so I could have gotten Necrozma and then Hydreigon. But Necrozma ended up not getting taken in the draft, which I thought was pretty interesting. So if I feel like that at any point is what I wanted, the direction I want to take my team, then that option, as of right now, is there. But I ended up getting Latios because the speed is really good, and like I said, it pairs extremely well with Steela. This resists electric and fire. Celesteela resists bug, fairy, and dragon, which definitely helps. The only issue is obviously it's neutral to dark, and the other type, ghost. Steela is Steela, and it's pretty bulky, so it should be able to sponge a lot of those hits. It's also neutral to ice too, but you know, that's neither here nor there really. Most ice moves aimed at Latios are coverage, not stab, so Celesteela should be able to just handle those. If I want to use that as the switch in off of this. Anyway, this mon hits like a truck. The speed tier is amazing. The coverage it gets, Aura Sphere, Mystical Fire, both are very, very, very nice. It can go physical, it can go special if it wants to. It can run a DD, Calm Mindset, it can run Defog, that I think is really nice. You know, gets other forms of aid. Yeah, it's a pretty versatile mon, and it's very strong, so I'm very glad to have this on my team. So, with my next pick, I ended up getting Raikou. I legitimately, whenever I draft, especially in points, I feel like I always am stuck on what I want to get with my 3rd and 4th round picks. I feel like the 3rd round pick is the hardest pick to make, to be honest, usually. That's what I've been finding out more recently. To be honest, and yeah, I decided to grab Raikou because the fast volt switching is very, very nice for my draft. So far, the other two mons don't have momentum, and I feel like getting some sort of volt turn early would be really good because momentum is more important than ever, to be honest, especially in this gen. So I grabbed this because it is a wall breaker. Potentially, it is a potential useful utility mon. You can use pressure, and it's actually relatively good natural bulk to sponge hits, especially on the special side. Its physical bulk isn't that great, but yeah. It's just a good mon. Speed's nice, gets good coverage, threatens out waters, threatens out birds. It's just a good mon in general. I'm really happy that I got to grab this. Scald, the lack of hidden power sucks, but it does get Scald to punish ground types. It unfortunately doesn't have a great move to punish stuff like grasses that switch in on electric types a lot because Signal Beam is gone for some stupid reason, but this thing still hits hard enough to punish a lot of grasses. It gets Shadow Ball for the grass ghosts. I mean, it still gets good coverage, so it gets extra sensory for grass poisons and shit, so it's still pretty formidable to deal with. I think it's a really, really solid mon, so yeah, glad to get this 3rd. And I also wanted a mon with a speed tier above Latios, and that checks that box. 4th pick, I wanted a good fairy. Sylveon got taken, so I grabbed my backup for it, which was Galarian Weezing. I've gone over this in the brief Expedialay Season 5 review, but Weezing is a good utility mon. Its typing is great. Complements Celesteela and my next pick. It takes a lot of hits, its abilities are all good, Neutralizing Gas and, Levitate, as well as Misty Surge, are all very useful. T-Spikes, getting T-Spikes support, especially with the Celesteela, is very nice. Gaining a mon that is a good resist to, is another dragon check, is nice because I don't have to lean on Celesteela for that. Yeah, this mon's just overall very solid. Neutralizing Gas, I think, is a very, very cool ability. It's one of the things they added this gen that I really like. Weezing is definitely a very solid mon, as I learned during my usage of it in XPDLA Season 5. I like this mon a lot. Next we've got Miltank. This was 7 points, and I needed to start getting picks that had good value, and this was definitely one of the bigger ones on my radar. It's a good rocker. The clericness, I don't know if that's a word, but I've just invented it, is really good. Yeah, it's just good utility mon. I didn't have any rockers up to this point, and this was one of the better ones, especially where it was in 7 points. This is a mon I also know how to use pretty decently. It's pretty easy mon to use, to be honest, but yeah, it's good defensive mon. Lacks momentum, which kind of sucks, but it's not like the most passive thing in the world. It gets a ton of coverage. Its attack stat is only 70, but that I think is workable for something like this. So yeah, after this, I think there was a mon that got taken that I wanted. I think I did get sniped here. Actually, no, I didn't. I was planning on getting Archeops from the start, I think. No, somebody took Diancie. Well, I really wasn't too big on getting Diancie, but it was on my radar, but I ended up getting Archeops, since Diancie did get taken, and that kind of played a role in me getting Archeops. I think I was just going to get Archeops anyway, even if Diancie was still there, because it was 8 points. And I think that's probably about right for Diancie. I think it's improved this gen, but I still think that this mon is really good, especially for the points it's worth. I feel like 6 is probably the right place for Archeops. You can make an argument for 7, because Meteor Beam plus Boots are just really good additions to its kit. The depth this mon gained in this gen is really nice. It hits extremely hard. The fact that it has like a setup-ish move now with Meteor Beam is good. Defeatist obviously still sucks, but you live, you learn, you let happen. You know what I mean? So it's still a really good mon. Regardless, really good value. This was on my CBL 6 championship team. 7, not 6. 6 we don't talk about. 7's the good season. Yeah, I really like Archeops. I think this mon is very fun to use. I did end up dropping it during the grace period because I made a mistake later on, but I'm still happy that I was able to touch an Archeops, I guess, for all of a day. Didn't get to bring it to a game, but you know. Then I grabbed Darm. Darm was another casualty of my unfortunate draft misstep, which would be the next pick after Darm. So I had actually dropped these 3 mons in a row, which I think is kind of funny, but I grabbed Darm mainly because it looked like I was having trouble breaking steel types, and I wanted a backup fairy answer. Just another fairy resist. I felt like getting that was good. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Darm is just Darm. It just hits like a fucking truck. And then we've got Sandslash. This is the mon that caused it all. 4 points. I felt like, good value for a ground type. I think getting a ground type is probably good, blocking Volt Switch. And then immediately after I made this pick, I saw that Rhydon was just 1 point more expensive. After the draft, if I saw that, that would have just meant that I would need to keep, I could just keep my team the way it is. Maybe spit out Archeops if I don't want to double up on rocks, which I ended up doing because I did spit out Archeops because I didn't want to double up on rocks. But I saw that Rhydon was 1 point more expensive after I made this pick, and I was like, oh, they're probably not going to let me change it. I don't even want to ask because that's rude or something. And so I just ended up getting Sandslash and decided to just fix it in free agency. Sandslash is a fine Pokemon because obviously Spike, Spin, and Rocks are all decent, but I think it's just way too passive and it's not bulky enough to really make up for how passive it is. It's got 75 HP, 110 defense, 55 in Spadef. So you pretty much have to invest in Spadef or HP a lot of the time because otherwise it's not going to take a special hit worth a damn. Especially because you can't run an item to help boost that besides Assault Vest, and if you run Assault Vest, you lose those cool new utility moves, or that cool new utility move, I guess, in Spikes, and you can't run rocks on it, so I felt like with Sandslash, I was kind of in a catch-22. I didn't really think it was worth keeping. It was nice for 4 points, and I did really want a ground type, but in the end, I just decided to axe this during the grace period, because I don't think it's that good of a Pokemon. I think it's fine, but it's like not a Pokemon for me is what I mean to say. I think in the right hands you can definitely make a Sandslash work, but it's really not a tool that I feel like I can make use of very well. I don't think it's a Pokemon for me, so yeah. I did keep this Clawitzer though. It was 5 points, and I was like, ooh, click button, do special damage. That would have been cool. That's cool. I kill stuff. That's good. Give me Pokemon. I grabbed this because slow U-turn was something I really lacked on my team. and I didn't have a water type up to this point, and I've leaned less and less on getting bulky waters for some reason. I don't know why. I've been saving bulky waters till the ends of drafts. I don't know. That's just been something I've been doing. Yeah. Yeah, so this mon, very, very, very solid, I think. I think it got buffed this gen, of course. Terrain Pulse is nice. Benefits from Wheezing Terrain Pulse, and it gets boosted by Mega Launcher, so I can basically launch a Moonblast on crack at my opponent, which is really sick. So I like this mon. Hits really hard. Good utility. In terms of just getting just momentum out the ass, U-turn, flip turn, and I'm pretty sure it gets Baton Pass as well. So that's good. Oh, man. And then with my final pick, I had 4 points left, so I grabbed Sableye. The spin block is good. The priority I lacked because all I had was Clawitz or Aqua Jet up to this point. Yeah, good utility on this Pokemon. Prankster Wisp is good. Prankster Taunt is nice. Another knockoff user. With this, I also had Sandslash, Archeops, and that's it. But I did end up dropping a couple of those, 2 of those. But this is still a good mon for the value. I think keeping this was a good idea. Spin block, getting a dark type is nice. Has decent utility, like I said, Wisp, Recover, Priority Taunt. Yeah, Priority Toxic is also a good thing. Yeah, this mon's very solid, so I'm happy with it. So I did end up dropping Darmanitan for Mienshao. I initially wanted Moltres, which was a point cheaper. Did I say my point values? I don't think I did. I'll start from the top because I don't think I even mentioned it. Celesteela was 18 points. The max point threshold was 18. Latios was 17. Raikou was 12, I think. Yeah. Weezing was 10. Miltank was 7. I think that was the only one I said. I also said this was 6. This was 12. This was 4 points. This was 5 points, and this was 4 points. So I dropped the 12 Darm for the 11-point Mienshao so I could upgrade Sandslash to Rhydon. I'll talk about Rhydon first because that's the key piece in this transaction rigmarole, I guess. I think it's just a better Pokemon than Sandslash overall. It hits pretty hard if you invest in its attack. It tanks hits for fucking days because Eviolite is such a good item. Plus, in both defenses, it is high. It has high defenses with Eviolite. Even the Spadef is good, especially if you invest in it. Max attack, max Spadef, Adamant SD Rhydon is a very solid set that I think is awesome and funny. Yeah, it hits really hard. It is a good rocker and is good. Gets an immunity, or it's a good immunity to electric. It gets a couple of nice resists with fire and flying. Yes, it does gain a couple of weaknesses. Fighting. What the fuck was the other one? Well, steel as well. And there's another one I'm thinking of that is escaping me right now. Yeah, well, it obviously gains 2 quad weaknesses as well, but I mean, it won't die to Scalds that Sandslash won't. You know what I mean? Because like a Slowbro Scald uninvested, you can for sure invest in both of them and have them live the Slowbro Scald. I've done that before. It's just a real world example. I've had that happen to me in a game. So yeah, this month's nice. It's really bulky. I dropped Darm for Mienshao because I still wanted that Steel Breaker aspect. I did lose my other Fairy Resist besides Celesteela, so now Fairy types are kind of scary. Oh, I guess Weezing. I have Weezing as well, but having 3 Fairy Resists is kind of nice. And I did gain a weakness, which kind of sucks, but I still like this thing. It's got the momentum in the 110, 105 region that Archeops has. It hits really hard, has 3 good abilities, and momentum, so yeah, I'm cool with that. And it's a setup sweeper potentially. And then finally, I ended up dropping Archeops because I gained the rock type, and I felt like getting double rock was kind of redundant. I dropped Archeops for Golisopod to reclaim, I guess, reclaim the spikes. But in the end, I decided to drop Archeops for Articuno because that's what my transaction turned out to be. Because they said I had 3 grace period free agents used after I did all this, even though I used 4 technically, but they gave me some leeway there, which was very kind of them. I dropped Archeops for Articuno because I felt like I was getting too much physical offense, and Articuno actually serves a nice role as a cleric. Potential remover, boots are nice. And then and another special breaker never really hurt anybody. I like the speed tier. I like what it brings to my team. So, yeah. Gonna go over the team from the top one last time. So let me take out the trades and transactions, and we can make it a bit less confusing. And this will be my actual team right here. So we've got, in order of taken friends, we've got Celesteela, sorry, Latios, Raikou, Galar Weezing, Miltank. What is this thing called? That is an Articuno, a Mienshao, a Rhydon, a Clawitzer, and a Sableye. Very excited to use this team. I really like it. I think each mon is nice. I've used pretty much most of these at least once. Sableye is the only one I haven't used in a battle before. Actually, Clawitzer too. And Articuno I've never drafted. So, you know, not as much as I thought. But yeah, my team, I really like my team. So thank you for watching. Follow the socials if you enjoyed, and be sure to subscribe if you're looking forward to more UGL videos and some PCL and potentially IPL stuff and such and the like, as well as XPDLA Season 6. I still need to upload my semis game from Season 5, which I will do shortly, I guess. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.